to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Hey, our show this morning is probably one of my longest monologues because this expert who's been with us, I think 3 years now, has the most amazing story from where he started to where he is now. He is, to me, I could do a whole 30-minute monologue on Dr. Taylor. We are so blessed to have him that we've taken a show that was a local Atlanta show. Then we made it statewide. And because of your letters, and we have made this show a national show. And I am so blessed to welcome Dr. Taylor.
Hello. How are you doing, Steve?
Hey, you're in a different place today.
Yeah, yeah. I have I'm trying to develop a podcast studio. This is my study at home. We went through a long project. I don't know if you remember. We took out all our carpets and put down hardwood floors. Yeah. So we finally got that finished, and I wanted to set up my study where I could have a backdrop. And this still is not the backdrop probably that I'm going to have, but I figured, hey, what the heck, we might as well start off. We start off now, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm at home, so I'm comfortable. I'm planning on doing more of these because I'm going on a great adventure, and I think I'm gonna come back a different person, and I'm gonna have a lot to talk about. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Dr. Taylor, tell everybody, because you have the most amazing story of how you started off your practice and up to where you are now.
Yeah, well, when I look back, it kind of surprises me too. So I I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee. My dad was a Baptist minister. I went to Vanderbilt undergrad, came down here to go to medical school at Emory, did an OBGYN residency here. I met my wife, who was also in medical school down here. And we got married 3 weeks after I graduated from medical school. We did a residency. She did it in family practice and psychiatry. I did mine in obstetrics and gynecology. And we practiced just like we were taught for the first 10 years of our practice. And then, as being an OBGYN, as my wife got older, she started having issues that women sometimes have that I had learned about. And she was doing the things that I had been taught, birth control pills, and all these, and it wasn't helping. And so I had a patient that come in, ask me about natural progesterone or bioidentical hormones. And I told him I didn't know what she was talking about, but I'll look into it. She gave me a tape. My wife actually listened to the tape and said, I think this guy is talking about me. I learned about saliva testing and bioidentical hormones, and it changed the course of my life. That one tape, I don't even know the patient who gave it to me, changed the course of my life because I started to question what I had learned. Is that the things that I had learned in medical school really didn't pan out in the real world. And I was seeing it 24/7 with my wife. And so I really started to go back to the basics, basic physiology, basic biochemistry. And I started practicing based on the basics and not on something that somebody had told me because they work for a pharmaceutical company. And when you work on the basics, man, everything works out so much better. And so from learning about hormones, we learned about how the gut works. And we wrote a book called Are Your Hormones Making You Sick? And then the second book we wrote was called The Stress Connection, because stress is connected to every organ system in your body, and stress will kill you. Okay, I'm telling you, stress causes cancer, stress causes heart disease, stress causes GI problems. So being able to measure and manage stress is of utmost importance. So that's where we are now. So, when I did OBGYN, I know I'm going long, but I got a lot
No,
of time.
no,
I just want to finish this.
I
When I
love
did
hearing your story.
OBGYN, yeah, well, good. Well, when I went to medical school to try and figure out what I wanted to do, one professor came in, talked about an OBGYN, you get to grow old with your patients. You'll start off having a big OB practice because all of your patients are young because you're young. Then you're going to have a middle age practice and they're going through perimenopause and trying to deal with fertility issues as they get older. And then at the end, everybody's worried about, what happens when I die, or am I going to die? Am I going to suffer when I die? So we're starting to think about longevity. How can you live a healthy life for as long as possible? Well, Steve, about 2 months ago, I said, hey, I'm starting a longevity course and I'm learning about longevity. And so from that, just like I had to go back to the basics of OBGYN and basics of medical school, when I wanted to understand the end of life, I discovered I have to learn about the beginning of life and civilization. And whether you believe it or not, civilization started in Africa, and real civilization, advanced civilization, started in Egypt. And what we think of these people as being primitive and, like savages, they're not. They were very highly spiritually connected. So they knew things that we still don't understand. We don't understand how they built those pyramids over there. How did they put those images that lasting for tens of thousands of years, and they look like they were painted yesterday? It's
Right.
unbelievable. So we're going to Egypt. We're going to Egypt this evening. Our plane leaves at 10:30. We're staying for 3 weeks, and we're going to immerse ourselves in this because we are dedicated that we don't do anything to patients that we don't do ourselves. And so this is our longevity. Now, this is not a part of the course. This is just a part of how I feel in order to be able to deliver this message or communicate this. I got to understand the beginning, and then I can help myself and other people understand how the end might be and what happens after the end. And that's probably what's most important is that's what's everybody, this is what I have understood. Most people live, they're afraid to live and they're scared to die. Okay. So
Yes.
you're afraid to really live because you think something bad might happen to you when you die. And I think that's a mind frame that we have to disconnect ourselves with is that life is for living. And I call myself a holistic physician, and holistic means body, mind, and soul. And here's what I'm really learning is that your soul is going to live forever. So once you understand that, then you understand longevity. And I hope I'm not getting too
No, no. I'm just
for
sitting here
two people.
thinking,
Yeah.
look, God
Yes.
gave you a wife that understands this. So it must be so nice having a
Yeah.
partner to share this with.
You just can't believe it. I said a long time ago, a lot of the stuff I learned is because my wife has dealt with these issues. I said God gave me her so that I could learn how to how to practice medicine, and I could see it 24/7. So you're exactly right. This is a journey we're going down together, and we are super excited. And I really want to, once I got comfortable with the fact that we are body, mind, and soul, and that soul lives forever, that can make you comfortable with living, and it makes you comfortable with death when you understand that energy that you possess, that you exhibit every day, that energy cannot be destroyed, even though your body is destroyed. And again, I don't want to get
Dr.
too.
Taylor, I
So
tell you,
I'll tell you. Yeah.
when people ask me
Hmm.
about what kind of doctor you are, and I describe it
Hmm.
as the patients that you get are the ones that other doctors have given up on. They don't understand, they don't know, and they come to you. And I just think that because I'm I'm a believer, I'm a very spiritual person, and I think everything you're doing, God is putting you in that place.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you, Steve. Uh, Getting connected with this spiritual part of myself. I told you my dad was a Baptist minister,
Right.
and lately I have felt the spirit of my dad really compelling me to talk about this because a lot of what I'm talking about has only been discovered like 60, 70, 80 years ago. How the origin of man, these are all in these Dead Sea Scrolls, all of the things these archaeologists have found over in Africa to really understand prehistoric, prehistoric. Uh, this is a phone call coming. I'm sorry. To understand prehistoric or ancient civilizations, and so when you talk about I'm supposed to be here, I'm telling you that is what I feel. I got to go over there and I got to help people understand how to deal with life and how to deal with death, and that's what everybody is concerned about. At least at my age, that's what everybody is is pretty much concerned about. So that's what I'm doing. So when you talk about, hey, this is something I'm supposed to do, yeah, I believe it 100%. We decided. You said, how did I decide to do it? Me and my wife just looked at each other. We started talking about this, and we was like, we just got to do it. So we told our kids, and our kids are like, what? What? You guys are going for 3 weeks? And we told them this is something yeah, we told them this is something we have to do. And we said, I don't know why we have to do it, but this is just something we have to do. So they have come to grips with it, and we're just excited. We don't know exactly what we're going to do or what
I
is
was
going
going
to
to ask
happen,
you, what will
but
you
we know
do over there?
something great. Well, my wife is we've got the different cities we're going to. She has some tours set up, but we talked to someone who said, "Hey, look, leave yourself open. Leave yourself open. You just don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know
Right.
exactly what is going to happen. So don't get too rigid. You have time to figure out what you want to do. So we're going over there with just an open mind, and that's what I've learned too. Is that it's two things. It says don't be so don't be so caught up on what you believe that you don't listen to other things. Don't just totally dismiss something that you hear, but don't believe everything you hear. So sometimes, when you just say, "Oh well, soul lasts forever." Oh no, I don't even want to hear about that. Well, listen. If you don't ever hear it, you may learn something. Just don't. But just because you hear doesn't mean you have to believe everything you hear. But you could, and if what you believe can't stand up to what you hear, then you need to reconsider what you believe. And I think that's a big part with some religions. They refuse to even listen to other viewpoints. And you can and so if you listen to another viewpoint and if your viewpoint is so strong, you should be able to withstand whatever that opposition or whatever that is. And if it's not strong enough, then maybe you need to question your belief. So even at now, again, I'm 64 years old, but I try to stay open. I'm gonna tell you, my kids have taught me a lot. My kids are 28 and 33, and I started listening to my kids, and they tell you a lot because they have grown up in a whole different world than what I grew up in. And been exposed to new thoughts and different people that I never could have met. There was no internet where I could meet somebody and talk to
Right.
somebody in Germany or whatever. So they have a whole different perspective on life. And us older people, we need to listen to them sometimes because I'm going to tell you, they have really opened up my mind to what I believe and what I thought I knew. So that's another thing. I think I'm a bridge from this baby boomer generation to the millennials. I'm far enough down in the baby boomer generation that I'm not so indoctrinated that I can't listen to a new perspective. And this new perspective, again, it's opened up a whole new way of thinking for me. And it's really exciting to be at this point at this age. And I just want to tell other people that it can be like that for you. I don't know what your passion might be, but it's not too late. They talk about Colonel Sanders started Kentucky Fried Chicken when he was in his 60s. So that's what I'm looking at, is that I've got a young mind, I got a young soul, and I don't care how many times around the sun my body has been there. My soul and my mind is still very active.
But Dr. Taylor, your practice, you you've always been open-minded. Look what you did, going from an OB-GYN doctor to doing holistic. So
Yeah.
you've always been open to new things.
Yeah, I call myself a contrarian. Is that yeah, I don't necessarily follow the doctrine just because somebody said it. I have to really know it, understand it, and believe it. And if I do, I don't care who else believes it. I've been talking about saliva testing for 20 years. And
Right.
does everybody understand it or believe it? No, but has it wavered my belief or my knowing? No. So, I still believe it, that that's the best way to do it. And I haven't seen anything to make me believe different. And I listen to other perspectives, but the ease of for me to understand it and for the patient to understand it, I haven't seen anything better. So yeah, I was contrarian to my OBGYN, and now I'm being contrarian to some of the long held beliefs that I've always had. Yeah, the other thing I want to say is that most of the time, most of your beliefs are things that you have learned from childhood. So, like the religion that you're in, you didn't pick it; you were born into it, and you went to whatever religion or church that your parents went to, and then and most people they just stick with that. But what you really need to do is to really look back and always question your beliefs 24/7. Always question what you believe, because you can believe in a lot of things, but what you want to believe in is the truth. And so that's the search that you're looking for. That's what I was looking for in medicine. What is the truth? Not what the pharmaceutical reps want, not
Right.
what the institution, what is the truth? I will follow the truth. And spirituality and ancient civilizations, that I think there is some truth in that knowledge. So that's why you say, why am I going to Egypt? It is in search of the truth. So that's
Do you see
that's where I'm
yourself
that's where I'm going.
talking to other doctors over there?
Not
You don't
necessarily.
know.
This is like a personal journey. I don't really see myself. This is no, I don't know. If I meet a doctor, maybe I will. But this is more of a personal journey to personal development. Uh, just again, trying to understand the alpha and the omega. So that's kind of what that's for. So yeah, I'm not really going over there on a medical mission. I'm just going over there with an open mind to understand and just to figure out what I need to learn, because I know I'm going to learn something over there.
So now, when do you get back?
I won't be back till January the 2nd, and so uh, I don't know. That's a Wednesday, so I may miss that one. I may have to come the next week.
Because your
But
show
hey,
next month is going to be amazing.
oh man, yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to seriously whittle it down to 30 minutes. But yeah, I will. I'm gonna take plenty of pictures. I learned I got a new selfie stick that automatically moves. I got new light. I got it all, man. I'm ready. I'm ready. And again, most people they plan for a long time for doing these trips. But I told you we just had an inkling. Me and my wife, we looked at each other and we said, "Let's go. Let's plan it. We'll figure it out later." And I'm going to tell you, most of the time, my gut decisions are the right decisions. It was a gut decision to marry my wife. I proposed to my wife after I knew her for 6 months. So gut decision to do OBGYN, gut decision to stop doing OBGYN, gut decision to take this longevity course. So it's just when I feel it, you do it, and then most of the time it works out. It works out well.
We have God. We're getting a lot of text on the chat line. Susie says, another beautiful soul who has questioned the narrative. And
yeah, that I'm telling you, we really, again, when you start to looking at the end of life, you really start to question, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Where do I go after this? So those are all big questions. Now, Steve, I'm gonna tell you one more thing. I've had this recurring dream for the last 30, 40 years. At least 2, 3 times a year, I have this dream that I didn't really graduate from Vanderbilt because I missed a course that I was supposed to take a course and I didn't take a course, and I'm just now finding out about it like 20 years later.
but this is a dream.
So now I finally realized that this is a dream. This is a dream. Yeah, I really did, Van. I did really. So this is a dream. But when I was at Vanderbilt, I took physics, and I really didn't like physics. I had to take it for pre-med. So I didn't like physics. I didn't like the electricity part. I just really couldn't understand it. So now this is the new science. This is the science that you may have heard about, but this is what has been discovered, like really since in the 1980s, because that's when I went to school, but this wasn't really taught. And that's quantum physics. And quantum physics says that we are all made up of energy particles, that we are all these vibrating particles. And in order to understand life and longevity, you have to understand quantum physics to understand you are just a ball of energy, and energy cannot be created and destroyed. It just changes forms. And that is the lesson that I didn't learn, but I learned now. And understanding quantum physics helps you to understand longevity, that energy that you have, that you are made of, is a part of this eternal or everlasting universe. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make some people, their head's going to spin. But that is the key, is understanding energy. And that's what I'm telling you, Tesla and Elon Musk and all those, they understand energy. That's why he's making millions of dollars off of energy. And so once you understand that we are all made up of energy and that we are all connected by this energy, that is that understanding explains a lot of things that we deal with and that we struggle with. And if you understand it, it calms a lot of our fears. And we don't have to live life fearful of life or fearful of death. And I'm telling you, man, that is the message that I want to get across to everyone. And it's not that difficult to understand. It just takes, I used to always say, it's much, much harder to unlearn than it is to learn. And because we've got so much to unlearn, it takes time for us to learn a new way of thinking. So that's the message I want to come back with, is we're going to want to help people unlearn some things and learn some new things that help them to better cope with life. And as long as life is for you, and then to be comfortable when life ends. And when life ends for someone else, it can make you more comfortable.
Well, I got to tell you that, first of all, this show has become so important that we replay it every Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be replaying this, and then when Dr. Taylor gets back, we'll do a live. And God, you're going to have so much to show. Dr. Taylor, you're like this great book that you just don't. You don't want to. You got to go to bed, but you can't stop reading it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you, I've always embraced life, but now I'm really embracing life. I guess, it's like when you get to the end of something, you get more, I guess, involved in it. I mean, any kind of story, the more you want to see how it ends. So I'm trying to make sure I have a good ending. And so hopefully, I'll keep you guys involved and interested, and we'll just see what the end is going to be.
Beautiful. Tell everybody
Yeah.
how they can contact you.
Yeah, well, my office is the office number is 678-443-4000. Our website is taylormedicalgroup.net, and you can also have a supplement company called Taylor MD Formulations. But if you go to our website, taylormedicalgroup.net, all our information is there. We have all kinds of educational information there for you. So please visit that, and I look forward to talking with you guys when I get back.
Listen, travel safe. Have a wonderful
Right.
Christmas and a happy New
Yes,
Year.
you too.
Yeah, we love you, Dr. Taylor, and
Thank
we'll
you.
see you when you get back. That's Dr. Eldred Taylor. Amazing. I can't wait for him to get back and share all his information with us. Like I said, we'll be replaying his show every Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.